When we talk about God's calling, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Am I really an expert? Do I have something to offer? After all, I'm still working on many of my own issues. But Jesus doesn't require us to be experts. He only tells us to share what we have received, His good news. Jesus told His disciples, "As the Father has sent me, so I am sending you." Our calling is to go. We have received His Spirit so that we might have power to go and make disciples. Some go to the furthest corners of the globe, some only cross the street in front of their house. Still, God's people always go. They go to work, school, grocery stores, kids' soccer games, and family reunions. And wherever they go, they take their witness of Jesus with them. True believers live going and carrying out His mission. Embrace your place. Get going. Share what you've been given. Matthew was a tax collector. That probably left him at odds with many of his Jewish neighbors. Matthew's occupation probably also meant he had a decent education. As a go-between for the Roman Empire and the Jewish people, Matthew had a front row seat for the complexities and questions of his day. When Jesus called Matthew to follow him, it required a major reworking of Matthew's life and identity. But something about Jesus compelled Matthew to do it. Matthew would go on to write one of the 4 Gospels and offer one of the most detailed depictions of Jesus' fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy. Matthew strikes me as a detailed kind of guy, a tax collector, the kind of person who is probably capable of some pretty deep conversations. I'm sure he had plenty of them with friends and family after he started following Jesus. So it's interesting the way Matthew depicts his first act as a follower of Jesus. Jesus' call had been simple: follow me and be my disciple. Matthew records that he got up and followed him. And in the next sentence we read, later Matthew invited Jesus and his disciples to his home as dinner guests, along with many tax collectors and other disreputable sinners. What strikes me is the simplicity of Matthew's action. Having found Jesus and been changed himself, Matthew rounded up other sinners he knew and invited them to have dinner with Jesus. He invited them to meet Jesus for themselves. I realize there had to have been plenty of questions and conversations that came out of that dinner. The fact that Jesus went seems to have caused some controversy. But really, it is that simple, isn't it? The good news of Jesus changes us, and so we invite others to come to hear that same good news. It doesn't stop there. Growing as a Christian means learning, developing, and wrestling with hard questions. But that never takes away from the simplicity at the heart of God's work. We lead with good news. Christ has come. Christ has given His life. Christ has been resurrected. Salvation is ours. The simplicity of Matthew's dinner party reminds me of the real work before me. I don't have to have every answer. I don't have to earn some degree from a Bible college or become a world-renowned evangelist. I just have to invite the people I know to meet the Jesus I know. What would it look like if we did this simple thing that Matthew felt compelled to do? We look around, we recognize people who don't know Jesus, and we invite them to meet Him. Perhaps it's a dinner party or just a conversation over coffee. That is what Jesus wants us to do, to live out His mission by sharing the news we have received. Let's never forget, that is the heart of all our work. That's the heart of following Jesus. How can you share the news you've received?